Welcome to another episode of My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey
I'm
there.
super
Hello.
out of it today. I'm like,
Really?
yeah, like real. I think because it's nice outside, I'm like having a real like brain day where I'm like, I can't brain.
Yeah. Did you ever have those days at school when it's like almost summer and you're just kind of like sitting in your desk next to the window, just looking outside, just not even paying attention to a single thing that the teacher is saying?
Where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I get those vibes. I mean, it is gorgeous outside right now. It is so beautiful. We are officially in spring.
Yep.
Baby.
Springtime in LA.
Yeah. You know,
Love to see it.
when people ask you what your favorite season is, I have such a hard time with answering that.
Summer all day. I love it.
Spring.
I love being hot.
I do too. I love summertime. I also, when you're living in a place that has fall is gorgeous. But there is something about spring, like coming out of like the darkness of wintertime.
Can we fucking celebrate the fact that the Senate passed like permanent daylight savings?
Look,
now, granted, I think it
landslide.
should be permanent standard time, but
That's
that's
the thing is like,
Yeah, wait.
because I was really stoked on this, and then I did research for it for your Angry Neighborhood Feminist episode, and I was like, oh, all sleep researchers are like, this is the worst fucking thing you could do. Like,
yeah,
everyone
it should be actually like permanent
Yeah,
standard time.
That makes the most sense. Why are they? I'm
I mean, it's Congress. What are you going to do?
I mean,
Yeah.
but at least like
yeah.
we're moving in the right direction to have the conversation to like just finally be done with this antiquated bullshit of
Yes.
like, because let me tell you, it
Back
takes
and
me
forth on
a
the
full
clock.
fucking week to get used to that time change of that hour.
Oh, it's horrible.
that fall behind in fall. Just shoot me.
It gets dark at 4 p.m. and you're like,
shoot me.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Especially working from home. I work in my kitchen facing the window and like seeing the sun go down
Woof.
and it gets dark in my kitchen
At
and
like
knowing I have like 2 more
4:30.
hours of work
Yeah.
left. Oh, it's terrible.
Awful.
However, now I had a lot of fun reading a bunch of articles because I guess we did this before in the 70s. We did this in 1974 and it didn't go over well. And I was just reading articles of parents who were like, I had to send little Jimmy off to school in total darkness because what's going to happen now is some months in the fall and winter months now, the sun won't rise
Move
until
school start time. What
that's
are we
how I feel.
doing?
And I'm also like, it was so 1970s that
Yeah.
they're like, we just sent the kids off to school in the dark with flashlights. And I'm like, take your kid to school. Why would you?
Dude.
Like your kid is like,
My parents
like
were already
7.
gone to work by the time I was on the way to school, so that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But I do remember some mornings that were still not dark, pitch black, but they were a little darker. I liked it. I don't know. But I see the point on that. But to me, I'm like, make school start
agree.
later. Why are kids having
Yeah.
to get up at 6:00 in the morning?
In
Any
fact,
goddamn way.
all of us, instead of changing the clocks, why don't you just adjust work start time in the winter and fall and school start time?
Because you know why this is all happening. You have school the same way that they are preparing you for the workforce.
honey,
is what
please,
they're
I
doing.
know.
Well, adjust
They're
all of
preparing
it.
you for bootlicking.
I don't want to go to school in the
Don't
dark.
we know?
School. I don't want to go to work in the dark either.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
They do too. And you know what? That's actually, it's so funny because your boyfriend just posted something on that was like bragging about never missing a day of work is not like, that's not a brag basically.
Yeah.
No.
But also that is exactly what school set you up for.
Exactly.
You get like
Perfect
a fucking
attendance award.
Yeah. You perfect attendance award.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh God. You wanted that. Like, well, I mean, I didn't give a fuck, but like, I mean, there's kids who were like that proud that they didn't miss a day of school. And I'm like, my mom would call me out of school, not even sick. And she'd be like, we taking a hooky day.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the mall downtown. Like, you know, it was just,
well, I'm not going to lie. Like, my schedule has been so insanely busy over the last couple of weeks. And it's going to continue to be busy for the next couple months. And I really wanted to call out of work, not for any reason other than that I'm like, I just
need a
want
break.
one day to myself where I could
Right.
like go to the mall, go for a walk, go to the library, read some books, take a nap. Like I just wanted like a mental health day and I didn't do it because I feel like there's so much guilt ingrained in me about like resting. Like
Next Saturday night is like enshrined in my calendar.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited
You're
because
so funny.
we have so much to do next week because
Yeah.
I still have to do like work stuff and we're going to be networking, which, you know, as like an introvert for me is like very
Draining.
exhausting.
Yeah.
Well, Eric's going out of town Friday through Sunday. So Saturday night when we're done with podcast evolutions and I'm by myself, oh my God, Bridgerton will be out. That's all I'm doing.
I'm
so
about to buy you a bath bomb.
if you
She doesn't have bad
know
stuff.
me,
damn it.
you will not hear from me on Saturday night
That's
because
fine.
I am eating sushi.
Mm.
Well, maybe. I might be eating sushi watching Bridgerton. So
yeah.
I eat sushi.
My God, like I just love those nights when you are alone and time is to yourself. I love nothing more than a bubble bath with a glass of wine, then getting out, reading a book, feeling all clean and cozy. Oh, yes.
Oh, it's going to be phenomenal.
I'm so
Sounds
excited for you.
delightful.
I'm so excited for you. Like, I love that for you.
It's going to be great.
What? I'm gonna rent a hotel room.
Just like there's something
I'm an
to me
extrovert,
so precious though about those few moments. And you get it too.
Yeah,
I know
do.
you
Yeah.
guys get
Oh,
it
yeah.
too when you're extroverts. Those moments when you get to have like by yourself
Completely
are kind of
alone.
few and far between
Yeah.
when you're in a relationship or what have you, or you're living with somebody. It's great. And it's not to negate. I'm very, very happy in my
Of course,
relationship.
yeah.
But it's just like
It's not about that at all.
Yeah, no, don't take it personal. It's
I
just
get
like
to be
sometimes
alone in my house. Oh.
my time is completely my own.
Yeah.
And also, I can be an absolute monster in this house. You know me, I'm walking around naked,
Buck naked.
fucking leaving shit all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
I'll clean it up before you get home, but like this place is gonna look like
Yeah, I'm going to be
nightmare.
a lazy monster.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
going to be wonderful.
oh God, I'm gonna eat
so
just
jealous.
pickles and cheese. Like
Together.
that's what I literally that's been my snack lately. I'm just like taking out like pickle spears and like cutting chunks of cheddar cheese.
Yes, yum.
It's like salty. It's it's delicious. I have no shame. I don't care.
I'm having a real moment right now. I'm just so jealous.
You need honestly look,
Mama
you got
needs a break.
you got 2 people and 2 animals living in your house. You should rent a hotel room. I'm pro you renting a
Honestly.
hotel room. Like
I'm pro renting myself a hotel
do it.
room.
Do an Airbnb.
Oh.
Go hang out in someone's guest house for like a night. Just
Yes,
one night.
just one night. It's so
should.
worth it. Because, like I said, I'm like, it has like a heart, a star, a sticker on this night in the calendar because it's just a mental health thing.
Yeah.
Just take a break.
Absolutely. Take a break.
Mhm.
The world is ending.
Honestly.
It's the apocalypse.
Take a day off. Okay, so this is a hard pivot. I'm sorry already. I'm sorry. But we had a listener on Instagram reach out and tell us about this story. And I was like, that is some bananas shit.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a tainted love situation that's happening right now. Because I think it was it last month or this month? Either way, recently, there was a man who, like, he was talking to this woman, 22-year-old woman, cute girl on Instagram, like connected over Instagram. They were like talking, flirting, whatever, and decided to like hook up. So she's like, come to my place.
Okay.
And we'll hook up. And so he showed up and it ended up being like a honey trap. Like he got there. There were like several other like men in the room. He got like pistol whipped right away.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
And she was there and they basically tortured him for a few hours with his brother on FaceTime. Like so
What?
that his brother could see everything that was going on.
for
Why?
like for ransom
For
or
ransom.
something? Oh
What?
my god.
For ransom. Yeah.
This happened in
In
the
the
States?
Bronx.
Oh my
in the Bronx.
god.
Yeah. And so they ended up finding him like he was, I guess, like, I don't know if money was actually exchanged, but they like drove him out somewhere and his brother was supposed to bring $100,000 and they left him in like a van and they said that he had duct tape over his mouth and nose.
Oh,
my
no.
God.
And I'm like, you're trying to kill somebody if you leave them like
yeah,
that.
that's
'Cause, like,
attempted fucking
they
murder.
can't breathe, you know. So luckily they did find him and they have charged the woman and like several others, like a couple of the guys. But I was just like, that just
dating's
be
not
careful.
hard enough.
Yeah.
Man. Oh
shit,
my goodness.
dude.
Be careful, man. Like, because
Just do not meet up with somebody for the first time at their house.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
true.
But it's very like early 20s.
Guys or
behavior.
girls, honestly. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I think there's so many
exactly.
times. I think, honestly, if you're a guy and a woman's inviting you to her house on a first meetup, I would be suspect. If you're a guy and that's happening to you, just know that women don't typically do that. Women are usually too afraid to have somebody come meet them at their house for the first meetup.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But
I
who
would think
knows-
that's suspect right away.
Who knows how long they were talking?
For sure.
Because I don't know. Sometimes you can, especially in this digital age that we live in, I feel like you can
False sense of
sometimes
trust.
really feel like you know someone because
Yeah.
you've talked to them, and it's like you don't know them.
Yeah.
You don't know them.
Well,
No,
that's why there's
that's
things like Tinder Swindler and
Yeah.
because you think you know somebody. This digital age has really made that a thing, right? Wouldn't you
Girl,
say?
I just watched Bad Vegan.
Oh, I wanna see
same,
that.
Ooh, I want to see
same
it.
thing. I'll talk about it at the end.
Okay.
But it is the same thing where
Dude.
someone's communicating digitally for a long time. You think you know that person.
Yeah,
and
parasocial relationship, basically.
I'm
yeah.
watching Worst Roommate.
Oh,
So I'll be talking about that later. But
Oh, yeah.
but same fucking thing.
yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that story. Yeah.
There's a bunch of
Yeah.
all of them so far are like bonkers.
Cons
Yes.
are really in right now. Con stories are really in right now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know what? Like the first one of I'm talking about it now, but the first roommate story was a woman from like this 80s.
Dorothy Puente.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to say.
Woof.
I know about Dorothy.
Oof.
Dorothy
Yeah.
and her thick ass glasses. Yeah.
Guard up, man. That's what it comes down to, because she's
Have
like a
friends
little
and
old lady. But yes,
guard yourself.
have friends. That is
Yep.
the mantra.
Well, that's what got Dorothea in the first place is because she was trying to. Okay, sorry, we're like straight up talking
Go
about it,
ahead.
but here we are. I'll talk about something else at the end of the story. But she straight up was, taking people who were off the streets,
vulnerable.
Yeah.
vulnerable. People that didn't have quote unquote families, people that she assumed would never be missed, but she fucked up because one of those guys, his therapist or his social worker was like,
She went extra.
she did. She was like,
was
no,
Where
he
is
did
he?
not go to Mexico.
Yeah.
Where is he? I'm just going to tell you right now, I am calling the police on Monday and they will be there if I do not hear or I do not see. Like, she just wasn't having it. Like, she was like, no.
Yeah, I know we
No.
talked about this before, but I would do that for any of y'all. And I know that you would do it for me too. We'd be
Shit.
like,
You're like, I haven't heard from Keegan in a couple days.
Right.
I mean, like,
It's a little weird. Yeah, just check in.
Yeah.
Quick check in. We really should have like safe words.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah, because I'm like, this is how you know it's me and not like
I'm Tiger Beat, sassy. And we're just like some random.
yeah, something random.
Oh man.
oh wow, yeah. I mean, that is the reminder to just basically, communicate with the people in your life. When I was out dating, I could have done a better job and should have done a better job of like screenshotting like an address or something like that if I was going to go somewhere. Like, just let people know where you're going to be.
Yeah,
I don't want to call you out, but you really should have.
No, I know, because Cassie and I
There
were
were
on your
times.
ass. We were on your ass about that all the time, and you were like, no.
You're like, I'm fine. I'm
I
like,
don't like people knowing where I'm at. I'm like, I know you don't, but look, we've seen too much Dateline
Yeah.
for you to not do
Yeah.
this. And I do that even if I'm like, I don't really Lyft or Uber anywhere anymore,
yeah.
but like I used to. When I was out lifting and Ubering, I would screenshot
Yep.
my driver's information. I'm like, anything happens to me, I don't make it to the restaurant, it was this motherfucker right here.
Lyft
right.
actually has a feature now that you can actually send the Lyft to your friends or whatever, and they can track your ride.
Good.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
know
they
I
can look,
used that
and
the
you
other
know-
day.
Yeah. With our friends, our friend Amy would be glued to that screen. She's like, they took a left here. They shouldn't have taken a left there. Everybody in the car.
That is
in the
Amy.
car.
That is Amy. She's like, why are they taking a left?
Oh
my
man.
gosh.
Well, what do you guys want to do for FMK this week? I know we have the Oscars coming up.
Yeah,
We have the Oscars. I think we should FMK Oscar nominees because
Should we be the movies?
I haven't seen a lot of them.
I haven't either.
I just have to go based on like you've seen a lot of them, Christina.
Yes, I have. I have an issue with the Oscars
Let's do
anyways.
categories.
but
Oscar category.
Oh my God. Well, obviously, Oscar doesn't care about some of its categories, considering it's not going to be televising some of the categories that are vitally important to making a film watchable. But
they always do that. They always do that. Like, every part of making a film is so important, and they just decide that, like, no, people don't think this is interesting, so we're not gonna.
Yeah, just
listen,
celebrities.
I don't know if many people outside of California really think the Oscars are that interesting. I mean, I think they're interesting just because I am a film lover. I love the construction of a film.
Yeah.
I spent, a couple hours the other night watching a freaking documentary on sound design in movies. But, like, it's interesting to me. But I think if they weren't televised, I don't think that many people would care.
No,
not really.
Especially
it's a very
now.
Industry thing.
Especially now. I used to love, like, when I didn't live in LA, of course I wanted to be in the industry when I was a kid, so I watched the shit out of the Oscars.
I like the dresses.
Exactly.
I like the fashion.
Just gonna say
the fashion.
it's red carpet all the way.
Yeah,
that's
But
my category.
it was also that I just wanted to, like, I wanted to be in the industry, so I was very interested in what like won, and I wanted to see their speeches and, like,
practice my speech.
Of course,
since I could talk.
of course. But I think that right now we're having a real interesting reckoning with celebrity in this country.
Yeah.
And I think that people
Just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right.
They're not as engaged in this kind of, like, wild excess that you see.
And I think that we're all kind of like, did anybody deserve anything this year? That's kind of what I think everybody's feeling. Like, was there anything that felt worthy?
But also,
I don't know.
It also is like, yes, there were some good movies that came out, but, like, doesn't the nurse who's been working, like, however many hour shifts for, like, a year and a half deserve some kind of recognition? It's the recognition part of it, where it's like, there were people that went through fucking hell in the past couple of years, and it feels really weird.
This is masturbatory. Truly, because you guys are already celebrities. You're already rich. You already got this. You're
That's
already
the thing
here.
for me. For me, it's the excess, because I'm like, in any industry, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Honor people who were extraordinary in their industry for that last year. Like, I think a lot of industries do that, and I'm for that. Like, I think that's really cool. However, I think it's the, like, excess.
It's the fact that it's
kind
televised.
Of, like, and it's like,
makes it like saying, like, oh, you should pay attention to this. This is on TV. You know what I mean? I don't begrudge awards within professions, whatever, of course. But the fact that it's televised is saying, like, you should care about this, like, because it is on TV. We're not televising other professions awards ceremony, like,
which now I want. I do want. I want like a doctor's
Nobel Peace Prize, that kind of thing.
And everybody has to dress up, and you have to have a runway or like a whole red carpet moment.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
just step and repeat.
That just speaks to our obsession with celebrity, which I'm have been absolutely guilty of. I mean, we talk a lot about pop culture on this show. That's why we care. That's why we talk about them, period. But I'm just like, there was a time when I thought that all that stuff was glamorous, and now I'm kind of icked out by the fact that you're wearing a $50,000 dress. Like, I used to think, like,
that you didn't have to pay for, that you're probably borrowing. It's just,
and you're getting grab bags that are worth like $300,000 a person.
You have the money you could spend on a dress, and you don't have to. That's ick.
Yeah,
that's ick. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, with that said,
wow. Let's celebrate them more. That feels.
Well, we're not celebrating. We're gonna FMK, and I feel like that's so. Which category are we doing? Are we doing let's actors, the supporting actors, actresses,
do actors and actresses in leading roles, and we can pick from either. How about that?
Okay, pick our favorites.
So these are the nominees. You got Javier Bardem for Being the Ricardos. You've got Benedict Cumberbatch for Power of the Dog. You've got Andrew Garfield, Tick, Tick, Boom. Will Smith, King Richard. Denzel Washington, The Tragedy of Macbeth. And for the actresses, you've got Jessica Chastain, Eyes of Tammy Faye, which I want to see. I really want to see that.
It's good.
Olivia Coleman, my angel, The Lost Daughter. Penelope Cruz, The Parallel Mothers. Nicole Kidman, Being the Ricardos. And Kristen Stewart in Spencer.
Man,
it's a lot of good ones.
They love an actor playing an actor.
They love an actor playing an actor.
Oof. I gotta say, the best performance, because I've seen all of those movies, and my own personal opinion, what Denzel Washington did in The Tragedy of Macbeth
heard.
was incredible.
Ooh, oh my gosh, it'll just give me chills.
Ooh, I'd
That
love to hear it.
his acting in that was the best I've ever seen from Denzel Washington.
Oh,
Oh
and
my
that's
God.
wow.
I'm saying something.
That
The
is.
cinematography, the lighting was so good, but I've never studied like Shakespeare, but I've read all of Shakespeare's plays.
Yeah.
Somebody that is able to effortlessly communicate in that language and make it understandable.
Oh, it is a gift.
It's a gift, and
Yes.
he fucking nails it. He
Wow.
does so good.
I've heard
he
he's
shows up
phenomenal.
Francis McDormand.
Oh, shit.
I said it right
Wow.
here on this
Damn.
episode of My Worst Date.
You know, I think that they are comparable actors. Like I mean, but they're very different.
They're very
actors.
different, and
Yeah.
I have never been that impressed by. I mean, like never that level of impressed by Denzel Washington, where I was just like, holy shit, that's one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Denzel
So, I'm
Washington
saying
has
it.
a quality about him that I love in an actor, and it's that very like effortless. Like
Yes.
he's
He's a chameleon.
so effortless. When
And
you
he's a
watch
chameleon.
him in anything,
Yep.
I'm like, I don't feel like you're acting. I feel
No.
like this is just
Just who you are.
who you are, and that's amazing.
especially difficult when you're talking about Shakespeare.
Yes.
Mhm. Yes,
It's hard not to come off as actory when you're
Yes.
saying words in what is basically a foreign language or
sure.
poetry, you know, and it did not feel like that at all. So
Ooh.
I'm picking Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Okay. I'm actually very interested
Me
in
too.
seeing
I'm
this
gonna
now.
watch it
I'm
immediately.
intrigued.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to pick Jessica Chastain.
Okay.
I'm she's such a good actress.
Yes.
That's
She does really well in that movie too.
I can just
I-
see that. I wanted to pick Javier Bardem, but I cannot as Ricky Ricardo. That is just it's just like,
I think they're both miscast.
it's the most horrible miscasting
Yeah.
ever I've
Yeah.
seen. And
Yeah.
and I love him. And it's just so awfully miscast. Like it doesn't have to be a
Does
Javier Bardem to make this
Nicole
work.
Kidman
And
have
everything.
a lot of outstanding bills to pay.
Honestly.
She is working her ass off right now.
Does she
like,
not
that
like
woman,
her husband?
Listen, because she is in everything.
Everything. TV
Including
or
that
movies.
Fucking terrible AMC
Oh God.
thing. Have you seen her in the
Oh, no.
AMC
Oh,
thing?
the ad.
The ad? I'm like, are you kidding me right now with your soda in the seat? She's talking, oh my God, it's so cringe. And I'm like, honey, what are you
what-
trying to pay for?
What is she
You
doing?
don't need to do this.
She doesn't. Like, you're
I'm
Nicole
so
Kidman.
confused,
You have
yeah.
so much money. I don't understand.
Her and Keith are like not great. And she's just like, I'm going to get out of the house.
Yeah.
So busy.
AMC commercial, I'm in.
It's fine. Yeah, no, tell him no, I'll do it. But
Say less.
Nicole, you don't have to.
No.
I'm in. I'm telling him I'm definitely in.
Where
I
does
love
it
them.
shoot? Yeah, that's great.
Great. Good. I'm in.
That's
I'll
gotta
right
be
there.
it. It's
I'm
gotta
like,
be.
What is her? She hates her kids secretly. She's like, I gotta get the fuck out of this house.
Oh, she is
Damn.
in everything recently. And it's just
I
like
can't.
her fucking face everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Okay.
So Keegan's gonna pick Nicole Kidman because she's in everything. She has to be in this.
I'm like, she earned it. I mean, no, I'm trying to decide between Olivia Coleman, who I love so fucking much.
Oh my God.
And-
that movie, I don't think I can watch it though.
Oh, it looks heavy. I'm gonna watch it, but it looks heavy as hell. It's on my to watch list on Netflix. Or Andrew Garfield, because I just really like him. I like him a lot.
I just saw
missed me.
the new Spider-Man, which has all 3 of the Spider-Mans in it. I actually thought it was really good.
Oh,
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's really good.
Yeah, it's up now. It's on streaming. It just
Yeah.
came out. It's No Way Home or whatever.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire's in it and Andrew
I did
Garfield.
not know
Man,
that.
Toby
It's all-
Maguire.
And Doctor Strange is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God,
it's
what a
actually
time.
it's actually pretty fun, pretty enjoyable. It's nice to see Tobey Maguire again. That's
Oh,
getting weird.
he's still around, huh?
Yeah. He's still,
Well, I'm gonna make this hard.
Uh-oh.
That's what I've decided.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Olivia Coleman because
Okay.
I feel like for you two, that's going to be much more
Yes, it
difficult.
is going to be much harder. Andrew Garfield definitely missed
See,
me.
I like him, and he's also the thing that I found that really solidified how much I like him because he's also into musical theater. So am I, and he reads a
Yeah.
lot,
I
and
love
he
that.
like
I do
talks
love
about like reading and his favorite books, and and I'm like, hot.
Yes.
But
Damn.
I'm going to go with Olivia Coleman because I just think that she's brilliant. I think she is brilliant.
This is
Like,
And she
really
seems
tough.
really fun.
Down
too.
to earth.
Also, so does Jessica Chastain. All the
Yeah.
interviews that I've seen in her, she has a great sense of humor.
This is going to be so
so
fucking
hard.
tough.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
I know.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Because Jessica Chastain also, like, she really cares about her co-stars. Like,
Yeah.
she fights for their like equal pay
Love
and stuff
that.
like that, which is very, very
Love
cool.
to see it.
And Denzel is Denzel.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's-
And
I've been-
Olivia Coleman.
Uh,
I know. What do you do?
give me a second.
Okay.
Give me a second to process.
I'm going to go with my gut.
Okay,
I'm just
go
going to
for
do
it.
it. I'm going to do it.
Rip that
I'm gonna,
Band-Aid
I'm
off.
going to do it and just jump off this bridge. I'm going to marry Olivia Coleman.
Mhm.
It feels right.
Yeah.
She's funny when she needs to be. She's cerebral. There's just something about her. She's like I don't know. She just seems like she really has her shit together. And you can get the vibe that she's very smart.
Yeah.
But she's also can be funny.
Yes.
You know.
She has my favorite. We were talking about this last weekend. She has my favorite type of genre of acceptance speech at the Oscars.
Feels like she doesn't take herself or
Yes.
acting
Or the industry, right? Too seriously.
Too seriously.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think she takes
She
it
loves-
seriously
she loves it.
as her job.
Correct.
Like, because when she did accept those awards, you can tell she's very like,
Touch.
and like, a little surprised. And that's the thing is she seems like the kind of person who like maybe doesn't fully comprehend how
Famous she is.
and how great she is.
Yeah.
Like no, you're really, really, really good at this.
Yeah.
She's like, am I? Wow, this is really okay. And then I'm gonna fuck Jessica Chastain.
Okay.
So beautiful.
She's so sexy.
She's very sexy.
And honestly, I think she'd be a fun time.
Oh yeah, all the movies and everything that I've seen her in, she seems like she'd be
She'd be fun,
She'd have
right?
like a wild night.
She's
It'd be fun.
dramatic too. You know what I mean?
I want her as a friend. Like I want
Yeah.
her as like a girlfriend.
Yeah,
like I
totally.
feel like she's the type of person who you could go over to their house and she'd just pour you a glass of wine and like listen to your problems.
Oh my god, she'd
Like,
be the best.
Yeah, she
I
give good advice.
Honestly, if this was
Completely agree.
FMF, I'd be we'd be making different decisions right now.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Until I saw Macbeth, I would have had a different
okay.
answer. But seeing that side of Denzel Washington, I just I fell in love.
Okay.
I'm gonna marry.
Oh.
I'm gonna marry.
I love it.
I love that.
I just
He's loyal as shit.
He
Like,
is.
He's got he's been married to his wife for a gagillion years.
Ever.
and it just really showed. Like I always think of him. I guess I always associate him with like Training Day.
Yeah.
You know what I
Same.
mean?
There's
Where I'm
that
just
part
like,
of my brain that's like, I cannot.
Yeah, he just seems like I'm like, meh. And I've seen him in like a ton of different movies and everything, and I'm always like, he was good.
See, I always
what I
think of him as like Pelican Brief,
Oh,
which is much hotter
okay.
than
Yeah.
Training Day. Because I didn't see Training Day till I was an adult.
Pelican Brief. I love
Dude,
that
that
Oh
movie.
my
movie.
God.
I just watched it recently
The
again.
energy between him
So
and Julia
good.
Roberts in that
So
movie, I
good.
was like,
We went through
So
a
good.
phase in the pandemic where all we wanted to watch were 90s like
Yes.
Grisham.
Oh my god, I did that too. I did that
It
too.
was
I watched
so
them all.
comforting.
Yes.
I don't know why.
I watched The Firm. I watched
Yes.
Pelican Brief. I
Yes.
watched.
The Client.
Yep. I
Oh,
watched
all
The
of
Client.
them.
Oh my god, I watched.
What happened to all those like
Oh, it was so good.
I don't know.
trial movies? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
There was like a
yeah.
real period in the 90s
Yeah.
where there was a ton of them that came out.
Dude.
yeah, and that like classic thriller we don't have anymore.
Yeah,
like
it's so true. We do not have classic thriller anymore.
Yeah,
I have a question because I'm not all the way through with Verity. Is that what it's going to turn into as a classic thriller? Because I think that movie is going to. I think they're going to make that a movie.
I don't know how they would be able to. I really don't.
I heard that they were considering
it's like
adapting
a lot
it.
of
All right,
stuff
don't tell me
is
too much.
happening. It's like reading. So what are they going to show her reading and like reenact? Like
I think they have to
it's-
reenact
They
it, yeah.
would have to reenact. But
So
yeah,
we're
it's-
talking about a book right now, listeners, called Verity by
It's-
Colleen Hoover, and it
If you do listen to it, you may see it better because they have two women's voices. They have one woman narrating the main character and then one woman narrating Verity. So maybe that helps.
they would do reenactments. I'm certain.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't tell me much more. Okay.
No, but that it is kind of like it. an erotic thriller book, and I think that they're trying to
It
move.
does not feel erotic with somebody reading it to me. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's
No,
disappointing.
there's
should
not a
reread
lot.
it.
I wish there was a little bit more erotic in it, but yeah, it's yeah.
Okay. Anyway, you're gonna marry.
I'm gonna
Denzel.
marry Denzel. I definitely think it would be just a good relationship. He seems like somebody that you could have a conversation with. Like, we wouldn't be arguing, we'd be having a discussion.
Oh my God,
yeah.
it's Chris and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not arguing, you guys.
We're having a
discussing.
discussion. And then, you know, I'm gonna fuck Olivia Coleman.
Oh shit! Okay,
You know what?
I see it for you.
I actually feel like, to me, I think Olivia Coleman's actually gonna be more fun.
Yeah.
Like Olivia
really
Coleman.
do.
Olivia Coleman's gonna do shots with you at the bar.
Hell yes,
she
she
is.
will.
Yeah.
Yes, she will. She's getting
Yeah.
those rounds of shot.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
gonna be
gonna be
fun.
fun.
In my gut, I had to go with my gut, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what I feel.
I know it's really tough. We're all gonna do different stuff because I'm gonna marry Olivia Coleman. I want
I
to.
did that too.
Yes, but
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna marry Olivia Coleman. I just think that she's just gonna be fun. Like, we're gonna
Yeah.
have so much fun. I don't think she takes life too seriously.
Right.
Like, I would be happy to run lines with her. And I bet you she's the type of
Yes.
person that you run lines with who, like, if they get it wrong, they're like, ah, fuck shit. You know, like, that's the kind of shit I like. I've run lines with a lot of people, and sometimes you run lines with people who get real, like, worked up and, like, wound up, and that's not fun.
Yeah.
So I think that our marriage is going to be just a good time, relaxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to fuck Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, Daddy.
I'm right. I mean, almost too much where I'm like,
That
but
might.
especially since his son is so hot that I'm like, I feel a little like,
and like closer to your age.
yeah, and still older than me.
Yeah.
Like, his son is still older than me, but closer to my age. But I don't know. It's that megawatt. I will never not think of him as like sexiest man alive.
yeah, that's
in
gonna
the
be
90s.
that's gonna be that pickup on the wall
yes.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
He can do that.
Yes.
Yes. He's definitely gonna be able to do that.
Yeah. And like I said, I always think about him in the Pelican Brief. And even though I don't think that they actually even kiss in that movie, the like energy
The
is
sexual
very
chemistry is very
electric.
Yeah.
Like that
That's
just
just very prime him too.
Yeah.
Like
it's something about his smile.
Oof,
like
that
he's
smile.
got this smile that is like disarming that like I'm like, and he's still got it.
yes, he does.
Still got it. So
Yeah.
I am going to fuck Denzel and love Jessica Chastain. I love everything she stands for. I think she's beautiful.
Yes.
Like I said, I think she would be, of the three, she's the one that I think would actually be the best long-term friend. Like
exactly.
I
agree.
want to go shopping with her. I want her to give me advice. I want I want her to be here on our
I want her on
girls'
the group
night.
chat.
Yes. All of that
she'd
stuff.
be so fun in the group chat.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
we would
Know
be
it.
like, I can't say anything. What if she thinks I'm weird?
yeah. She's almost like, she's that friend who's like too pretty and it should be an issue, but she never makes you feel bad.
Nah, exactly.
Like me, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Like
just like that. Mhm.
All right. Well, that was a good one. You guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with stories?
Sounds good. And we're back. Okay, I'm going to kick us off with stories since I have the Tainted Love this week. This is from Reddit. I went on a date with this girl from Tinder. She super liked me and messaged first, so I was really happy to have someone interested. I asked if she'd like to go for a walk sometime, and she said she'd love to. So we get to walking, and like 5 minutes in, she asks if I have roommates. I say yes, I live with 5 people.
Oy.
Sidebar, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Five's a
maybe,
lot.
maybe
It's a
it's a
lot.
house.
Maybe it's a big house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
He lives in a fraternity.
Yeah. I'm just like, we just talked about needing our own space, and like the idea of living with 5 other people makes me want to break out in hives.
Oh,
Even if
yeah.
they're children, to be honest, that's too many
Yeah,
people in one
like-
house.
I would love to live with you all on a compound where we have
Yes.
separate houses.
Yes.
Honestly, I would
In for
I
that.
would even be cool with my relationship being like that. I'm like, I'll wait from you from across the breezeway. Like, we don't need to.
You're like Helena Bonham Carter and what's his
Yeah,
name?
I'm like,
Remember
we can
me?
have
2 separate houses.
Yeah, we can have houses that are joined by a hallway or something like that.
Yeah.
I live with 5 other people and tell her about a few of them. There's Max, Matt, Mark.
Wow.
What's a lot of M's. Wait, Mark Smith? I know him. What's he been up to?
I'm sorry. Mark is not that uncommon
of a name.
I'm
assuming that he's using
fake names. But still, that's a quick pickup.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Mark Smith?
Wow. Yeah. Wait, Mark Smith? I know him. What's he been up to? So we start chatting about my roommate, and she knows a lot about him. His family, the sports he plays, his girlfriend.
No.
Every time I try to move the conversation somewhere else, she brings it back to Mark.
No.
She's not even pretending to be into me anymore. She's just fangirling out over my roommate.
Is this twin flames?
I just love him. His hair is always shiny and he smells so nice.
Oh, Jesus.
Who is saying that kind of stuff
on a date? On a date.
Your roommate is
hot.
He always smells so good.
Smells good. She spends the full 2 hours talking about him and asking all sorts of questions. I didn't really know what to do, so I just boredly kept answering. When we get back to our cars, she shifts gears again. Hey, so I had a really great time. Want to go back to your place and have some fun?
No.
She's really creeping me out at this point, so I tell her I have homework to do and maybe later. I get back and tell Mark about the date, and he knows exactly who she is.
Oh, no.
He picks up his phone and immediately calls the police.
Oh, it is like twin flames.
Yes.
They show up at the house, find the girl outside in the backyard.
No.
And arrest her for violating a restraining order.
Honey.
Oh,
Honey.
my God.
It turned out that she was super unstable and had stalked my roommate since they went on one date almost a year prior. She recognized me from photos she had of him and used me to find out where he lived.
No.
Wow. No, because Cassie and I have both been listening to the new Wondery podcast, Twin Flames. I don't think you've listened to it at all.
No, I have not yet.
I have not heard of these people at all.
Wow.
But it's basically like these two people create this website and this seminar called Twin Flames Universe, where they're like, we had to fight so hard for our relationship, and like, we can teach you for the low cost of a few $1,000s how to find your twin flame. And it is all about them encouraging these people to go and like not
take no for an answer. Don't take no for an answer.
No for an answer.
Yeah.
And like, people went to fucking jail
Oh
for
my God.
stalking and harassment.
The one person who went to jail and then was like, they were like, but did you die, basically? And she's like, no. Then you got to keep trying then.
Whoa. She just got out of jail for it. And they're like, well, yeah, no.
I think you're doing the right thing.
Did you feel like you were being true to yourself? She's like, yeah. And they're
what?
Like, keep going then.
No.
It's wild.
It's so cringe. It's terrible. I'd never heard of it before. It gives me chills. It makes me, because your biggest thing.
No,
your
I know.
Fear
I'm
is
terrified
obsession.
right now.
You would be terrified of this podcast.
No, I'm
Yes.
am I gonna listen immediately? Yeah, like
because I need to know all of the ins and outs of what might happen.
Messy. And I looked up these people too, because I'm like, who are these people that are getting thousands of dollars to tell you how to do your love life? I need to get eyes on this. Honey, sweetie, baby, angel.
No,
What
it's a lot.
is going on? It is a lot to take in. There are many I was looking through my Google image, like shaking my head, all shoulders. What is going on? What is going on there? I have all the questions.
I know.
I can't wait until
I know.
the next
I'm only like
episode.
four episodes in, so I'm like, good.
Imagine though, like the police come to your house and she's in the backyard.
Jesus, no.
Like she's in the backyard. What was she gonna do? Does she just do that all the time? Is she just watching you through the window? Like,
no,
what's going
she
on?
found him through this dude.
Oh yeah, she followed him home. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So
Wow.
she wouldn't have found him if it wasn't for him accepting this date.
Also,
How fucking awkward, dude.
how fucking terrible. You're like, oh, she really likes me. She's like super like me. She messaged first.
the whole time.
Super
she's like,
yeah.
it's like, how about your roommate, Mark? He's so. Oh my god.
He's so dreamy.
No. Oh, God. Oh. All right. So I got the story off Reddit, and she says the time that she met a guy off of Reddit, and it turned into the worst date of my life.
Look, I love Reddit for a lot of things.
Yep.
I would not use Reddit as a dating service. Not one time.
That's gonna be a no. Now,
Because there's definitely communities you're like that maybe you meet people you have common interests in.
That's true, because you have like subreddits and stuff like that maybe, but it's the same as like anything else. Just buyer beware when you're talking to people online, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So this is the miracle of how I didn't become a body in the basement.
Ooh.
Many years ago, I went on a date with a med student. Well, technically he had graduated, so I guess he was a doctor. And you would think
just already, I'm like, Dateline has taught me. Strike one. Doctor.
And you would think that might be like kind of a green flag in terms of normalcy, I suppose. Talking online, everything was fine. After weeks of chatting, we agreed to hang out at his, which is a trek from mine. And it's like hoarder hell, but he did warn me. I just didn't expect it to be as bad as it was.
Okay.
Still, it was his parents' mess, so I didn't blame him. Just figured, okay, guess we won't be hanging out here again.
Well, why were you hanging out there at all? Like, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Shop,
like,
go
anywhere.
to the park,
Anywhere.
go anywhere.
Anywhere.
That's very strange.
But she's driving, so a hike to his place.
Yes. To apparently his parents' place.
Yeah,
which
why
is a hoarder house?
Why wouldn't he come to you or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, I've
also
got
we
questions.
just learned that don't do that either. But
well, not at anyone's house. Just like meet at a Starbucks
place. Yeah, exactly. It's very bizarre to me. Like if he is in that situation, why he would want people to come over to it.
I wouldn't.
No, I would not.
No.
Yeah,
absolutely not. We go to his room and watch a movie. And fuck, bro, the movie he picked should have been a red flag number 2. It was a fucking Katherine Heigl movie where she falls in love with a spy. Like the most utter garbage you could pick.
Why?
Yet alone own on DVD.
wow.
That's his mom's
She
DVD.
comes in and like real hot. She's like, I fucked this movie.
Look, Katherine Heigl was in some real stinkers.
Yeah.
In like the early 2000s. She was in some rom-coms that The Ugly Truth, that one with Gerard Butler, is
Lord.
the worst movie I've ever seen. Like, it's maybe.
Well, speaking
remember that
of The
movie.
Ugly Truth, I don't know what The Ugly Truth is with Katherine Heigl, because I remember being told that she was an utter bitch
That's what
or
I
whatever.
heard, yeah.
But then now looking back, I'm like,
Maybe
We
she was
heard
just
that
an
because
assertive
maybe,
lady.
maybe she just had, an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She, so my friend did her hair like exclusively for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that she was actually very sweet, but she did get a lot of feedback. I can tell you when it all went downhill for her was when she was nominated for an Emmy for Grey's Anatomy. And she was like, honestly, she's like, I don't feel like I deserve it. I didn't really have a strong season this season. Like I wasn't written a lot. And they were like, oh, so you don't like your storyline? You don't like how you're being written?
Oh, they thought
and
she was
people like,
criticizing the writing.
yeah. And so it kind of maybe came off that way, but people were definitely like, oh, well, you don't deserve it, you snooty bitch. And, blah, blah, blah.
And then she made comments after Knocked Up where she
Right.
was just like, she didn't like that the men were written to be like lovable, kind of dopey.
Which she's absolutely
Yeah.
right about.
And she's like, all the women are like
Nags.
yeah. shrews.
Is she wrong?
She's not wrong.
I know.
But it was like what, 2003? Like,
Yeah.
like,
Wrong time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm often ironically watching a shitty movie, preferably under the influence. Anyway, I get through that hell and somehow my horny ass is still willing to make out. As we're making out, I see a piece of paper taped onto his wall. On it is a list.
No, I'm scared.
Of every woman he has ever been with.
No.
Stop.
Oh, he has it taped on his wall.
Sexual act he had
Stop
done
it.
was them. For example, Anne Marie came on face. Sarah, cream pie sex. Laura,
I'm scared. Oh, I'm so uncomfortable. I hate it.
almost crawled over that chair.
Does he have an Excel doc? You know what I mean? Where he's like drop down like menu.
An Excel doc would be better because at least it's not public. Like he's at his parents' house.
Just
his
with
mom
his hands
comes
up on
in to
his
like
fucking
raw.
wall. Dude. I was freaked out and asked him to take me home because I didn't want to spend $150 on a cab ride. I know my life should be worth more than $150, but what can I say? I wasn't thinking straight. So he drives me home and it's dark at night. We get on the highway and he just starts freaking out and crying about how he fucked everything up. And his face is murderous. He's driving like a maniac.
Oh,
I'm tense
no.
as fuck, trying to calmly direct him away from killing us both. I somehow make it home alive, obviously, and vow never to date again.
Wow. You have it taped to your wall. What is the point of that? And you have somebody else over. I don't understand. Like, help me to understand, because we tell these stories. And so me as an empathetic person, I try to put myself in that person's shoes. What is your motivation? What are you looking for out of this? You are already like inviting somebody to an uncomfortable situation. Like a hoarding situation is something that is uncomfortable for a lot of people. I know I would peel my fucking skin off. I get nervous sometimes, like with like pens not being straight on the desk. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so
yes,
you're already at that level.
Yeah.
Why do you have it taped on your wall and you don't think, I have somebody over, this might make somebody uncomfortable? Like, you don't, doesn't come into your head at all?
There's no self-awareness.
No, I don't think he was taking into account what would make her uncomfortable or comfortable at all. Like, I already find this situation, unless you're in high school, having someone come over to your parents' house to lay on your bed and watch a DVD with you is like very weird for a first date. Like, very weird.
Yeah, I mean, I still get triggered by the DVD menu for Zoolander.
I do too, only because I fall asleep to it. Like, 50 and like wake up and like what?
It's like, oh my God. Oh my gosh. All right. I got mine from Reddit as well. It's a twofer. He says, I've had 2 comically bad dates. The first, she ordered the most expensive beer on the menu and tried to pressure me to drink also, but I was driving us both. Then she kept belching loudly on purpose.
No.
I just wanted the date over with. Then when I went to drop her off, she asked for me to drop her several houses down from the house I picked her up from. When I asked her why, she said her boyfriend was home now and she didn't want him to see me and get mad. So that's one.
Oh my God.
Just like, drop me off here.
Oh my God.
Fine. Another turned out to be a huge Trump fan that said the only thing she disagreed with him on, the only thing was the wall. The reason was it was not punitive enough. She said it would be better and less money to just use landmines.
What the fuck?
Psychopath.
Sociopath. 100%. Like,
landmines. Are you fucking kidding me?
Just commit a war crime. Like, what?
God damn.
That's the most. Can you imagine
terrifying.
Someone saying that to you on a date?
911
It would be cheaper just to murder them terribly.
911.
That person is sick in their head.
Yes.
If you actually think that someone who is fleeing something and trying to make a better life for themselves deserves to die. Deserves to die. Landmine. Like,
God.
you're so fucked up. Then, when I was waiting for my Uber, she invited me back to her place for sex, and I said something like, we don't have anything in common, and we have a different worldview that's not really compatible, which I feel like is the most,
like, the nicest thing.
The nicest
way
thing.
you could say that.
Mm-hmm. She then got really hands-on and was trying to stick her hands down my pants.
Bitch, what?
And I pushed her
That's
away
assault.
again.
That's assault. It's assault. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I don't care which direction this goes.
No.
Like, don't. Someone has already said no. He said
like,
no already.
In a very clear and like nice way.
So for you to put your hands on another human being in a sexual way is assault. Don't do it.
She asked what the matter was, and I told her, again, we're not compatible. And she tried the hands thing again. I pushed her away.
What's wrong with you?
And said, yo, I think your worldview is vile and it's dog shit. Don't touch me. We're not having sex. We're not going to be friends. And we're not going to talk after this.
No.
Wow. I mean,
true.
I love it.
She got pissed. She started calling me soy boy and cuck.
Whoa.
And all the lame things the right says that don't actually mean anything.
What in the goddamn hell? You fucking psychopath. You goddamn sociopath. You want fucking people to die on landmines because of a border crossing, and you're goddamn okay, soy boy. Okay.
It's so lame.
Okay.
Right?
You got me.
You sound like a 15-year-old boy on 4chan. Like, stop it.
God.
She was yelling when the Uber showed up, so I got in and
That
told the
Uber
dude
driver was
to
like,
leave quickly.
Get out of
You know that
here.
Uber driver pulled up and was like,
Oh God, get in! Hurry.
I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Then my phone started going off. She was texting me. It was like 2 or 3 words a message. She was really blowing it up.
Love
so
it.
I just turned off the phone. I got home and I went to bed. But in the morning, I turned on my phone and it erupted with all of her messages.
Holy-
over 400 of
Jesus
them.
My
Christ.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But he's the cuck. He's the snowflake.
I believe it's soy boy for you.
Soy boy.
The fuck is? Oh! I am so furious right now. Honestly, furious.
Those were 3 real like zingers this week. Whoo-wee.
Damn.
Well,
Uh-oh. Don't love where this is going.
yeah. Okay. Listen, it's not.
Do you need to apologize in advance?
Yeah, because it's not fun. I feel like Christina always comes in and she's like, "Hey, let's talk about something kind of like weird and quirky, like a talking parrot, or whatever."
I want to be I on record saying that I had the talking parrot story first. Everybody keeps forgetting about
It was
I had a
when?
talking parrot story where he gave away the murderer.
What? We've had 2 parrot stories.
Yes, we have had 2 parrot stories.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I
Now
need to
you gotta
find a
find a
parrot
goddamn
story.
talking parrot
You
story.
had little Sebastian, so like you had the baby with his bow and arrow on little Sebastian.
Yes.
So I don't know what you're
that
talking
fake
about.
ass story you made up. No shit, dude. What?
I wish I'd made up that story.
Oh, that's so good.
I wish I had that creativity.
Me too. Like, for real. Okay. So I am going to tell the story of Molly McLaren. And this was not one that I knew previously. Like, it came up on my YouTube is now starting to suggest more and more like
Creepy shit.
weird true crime stuff.
Oh my God.
like,
When you
popping
go
up.
down a YouTube rabbit hole, it's
It's
something
like,
else.
here's this horrible thing you've never heard of.
Yep.
You want to watch it? So I was like, yes,
Good luck.
I would like to do that.
Yeah.
And so I got a lot of this information from it kind of feels like a Dateline type show for the UK called True Crime Central, but I'm not sure if it's a show or if it's a YouTube channel. But if it's a YouTube channel, it is high quality, like highly produced. Like it feels like you're watching Dateline kind of.
Okay.
So I got it from that, and then there was also a Bustle article. So Molly McLaren was a 21-year-old health and fitness student at the University of Kent in the UK. And I know it's become somewhat of a cliche within true crime circles, that whole like she lit up a room trope.
Yeah.
Right.
But that is really the vibe you get from this.
She was actually made of stardust.
Yeah,
Like,
she was
literal
actually one of those Twilight.
sparkles. Yes. She bitch lit up a room.
Lit up a room.
That's not going to be in my Dateline obituary. At all. Don't fucking lie.
Christina had to be dragged into a room.
Christina always canceled last minute by text because she liked to sit on the couch.
My God, triggered.
Christina got home and put on comfy pants and decided she didn't want to come. Oh my God.
But I mean, like that really is the vibe that you get from this woman. Like if you see pictures of her, first of all, beautiful. Like she looks like a Disney princess. She's got these big blue eyes and she's blonde and just really like beautiful. And everyone who knew her said that she was charming and outgoing and like really smart. And she was loved by both her friends and her teachers. Like they even interviewed teachers who were like, yeah, like she was just a joy to have around.
Wow.
Yeah, which is just when you're watching a show like this, you're like, that's
It kind of makes you not want to be a joy to be around, just
Right,
so
yeah.
that you don't end up in a Dateline episode because you
Oh.
feel like those are the only people who end up there,
it's
right?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have no
I'm
chance
starting to
of
get
that then.
nervous because I feel like people might be like, she was so delightful. I'm going to start being a real asshole.
There you go.
Can't be me.
Can't be me. It's
Can't
not
catch me. I'm gingerbread man.
Molly was really passionate about fitness, so much so that she actually started her own fitness blog where she would post her workout routines and healthy meals, etc.
I wish I liked exercise.
You know, I have bits, like bouts when I do.
I like it after I do it, but I don't love it the way that some people are like, I fucking love exercising.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, you get the sense she loves to exercise. Like, and I feel like I can get to that place, but the issue is when I get in that place, I have to never, ever take a break because the minute that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give myself a couple months off for the holidays, it's over.
Yeah.
Like KO'd for me.
Yeah. No, there are people that are like really into it. It's like a hobby.
It's like our friend
for them.
Jill.
Like, yeah. They
I
were
wish
like,
I had that
like
gene.
for me, I love reading. I love listening to music or whatever. Those are I wish that I felt the same way about exercising.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, this is
awful.
Mandated.
Yes. Yeah, I'm doing it.
like
I always
homework.
look forward to being done with it. Because
Yes.
I'm like, I know I'll feel good when it's over.
Exactly.
Like, I will feel great when it's over, but like doing it,
I'm never happy starting it.
Nope.
I'm never happy
in the
in
middle
the
of
middle?
it.
in the middle.
Nope.
I'm questioning every decision I've ever made in my
Yeah.
life in the middle of a run. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like, I think I'm going to die.
What has this come to?
And I'm all like, I do have asthma.
Meanwhile, you got Molly like running with a phone talking.
Okay.
And I'm like,
all right, this
She's like,
bitch.
I'm gonna blog this. I'm
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not hating on her or anything like that. I'm like,
No, I wish.
I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wish I could walk up the stairs in my work and not have an asthma attack and
Yeah.
just die.
But even with her love of fitness, as many young people experience, and I feel like also just many people in general experience this, those things can sometimes, being fixated on like working out and health, especially if you're doing it publicly, it can quickly kind of like spin out of control. I didn't even know about the term orthorexia until I was an adult, which is like orthorexia is an eating disorder, basically, where you are fixated on health. Like often, like you won't eat things unless they're like, you feel like they're healthy.
Yep.
Like a lot of people,
I know somebody with this.
yeah. And a lot of people who are in like fitness spaces kind of low key have that, and it can get unhealthy very quickly.
So basically, they're like one of those people who works out the calories that they put in.
No,
specifically,
that's
or?
exercise bulimia. So
Right.
orthorexia is like you're only going to eat nothing but salads or nothing but like plain chicken breasts, or so you can kind of control what you're eating.
When things become like a fixation, like I love reading books, but if I started to like not show up to my job or only reading books, it's kind of like that, but with fitness,
fixation,
where it becomes like you're living your life for fitness. It becomes more of an unhealthy relationship.
And it's specifically food as well. Like I used to watch this person on YouTube who I'm not gonna out on here, but they did skincare. They didn't have a fitness channel, but they were also like a raw vegan. And they would do their like what I eat in a days, and you could see her progressively getting like thinner and thinner on like when you watch these videos. And when you saw what she was eating, you were like, you're not
very specific.
Yes, you've restricted your diet to such a point where like you will only eat like raw spinach and sunflower seeds or whatever, and like that because that can't be
good.
It's not. Yeah.
Well, how about that on that podcast? The only thing that they were going to eat is hot dogs.
Listen,
of all the foods,
of all the foods. Anyway, sorry.
And I don't know if that's exactly what she had going on. I only brought that up because I really do think it's something that people should talk about more as a form of disordered eating. But she did struggle with disordered eating, bulimia, and also anxiety. She had pretty severe anxiety. But she was working really hard to combat that with the support of her close friends. So she let her friends in that she was struggling. Nice. They were really, really supportive and really emphasized that she got up every day and chose to like make decisions to battle her illness and like work through her anxiety. So she was recovering from her eating disorder. She was described as not being super focused on finding a boyfriend or a romantic relationship at the time. She was more interested in her blog and her studies. But once the school year was over and summer rolled around, she figured that she'd give dating a try. So she downloads Tinder.
It's hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer. Yeah. She quickly matched with 24-year-old Joshua Stimpson. So Molly was definitely not the impulsive type of person. So even though Josh only lived about 9 miles away from Molly, they chatted on the app, getting to know each other, occasionally talking on the phone for a few months before she met up with him in person. She was like, I'm not gonna just like
jump into something.
Right.
Yeah.
come to your parents' house and watch a Katherine Heigl movie on the bed. You know? So once they do finally meet up in person after a couple of months, things seem to be going really well. They're both very attractive young people. They've got similar goals, similar interests. They like to work out together. They're just very much typical people in their early 20s. And I think something that's interesting about stories like this that are pretty recent and dealing with young people is that you can track their relationship in photographs on Instagram, right?
Ooh,
So there's pictures of them, you know, together, selfies at concerts, out at bars, what have you. It's her first serious relationship, and they both seem very happy, very smitten with each other. She really felt like this was a person that she could open up to. And in turn, he really opened up to her as well. They both had a lot of anxiety. He struggled with depression. So they were able to kind of like relate to each other on that level, kind of talk about their insecurities and help each other work through them. She felt like she had kind of like that twin flame situation, you know? So despite the fact that Molly was very active on social media, she seemed to be a pretty private person and waited about 4 or 5 months before introducing Josh to her friends. And I don't know if this was just because she was enjoying those early days of a relationship and didn't want outside opinions, or because she wanted to make sure the relationship was real before she brought her friends into it. Both totally valid. Like,
For sure.
I feel like lots of people are like that. I wouldn't wait 4 or 5 months.
There's also
Depends,
I think there's times, and not to say that this is one of them, but there are times when you're dating somebody and you like them,
But you're not sure where they're at.
You know that your friends aren't gonna like.
Well, and
you know
that's-
what I mean?
That's
Totally.
precisely why I wouldn't wait 4 or 5 months, because
Yeah.
I trust you before I trust anyone
You're
I'm
like-
dating, and I'm like,
But
I
you
need
also
y'all
don't want
to-
your friends to tell you no.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
exactly.
like, it's like I've only been eating cake. And you don't want your friends to know you've only been eating cake, because they're going to be like, girl, that's not healthy.
Yeah,
And
stop,
you're
stop
like,
eating cake.
But I still want to eat cake. So
Yeah.
I'm going to wait to tell you about this for 4 to 5 months.
Yeah,
because I'm enjoying eating this
really,
cake.
really liking cake right now.
That's literally going to be the title of this episode. Is I'm really liking cake right now. So I feel like that says a lot about where I'm at in my life right now.
I got cake in the fridge right now.
Yeah.
Oh, we're having March
cake.
is the month of cake
Yeah.
too, because it's everybody's goddamn birthday.
Cake.
I mean, and you can keep that party going until April 10th, baby.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So either way, for whatever reason, when Molly finally does introduce Josh to her friends, they sense that something is just off.
They're like,
With
babe, you can't just eat cake.
Yeah, Josh is the cake of people. No, he's not. That's doing a disservice to cake. So he's not super friendly or chatty with them, and they're just seeing red flags. So her friend group is
and she
close.
knew. She knew her friends.
She had it in her
Yeah.
gut.
Weren't gonna, but she was.
yeah. Her friend group is, you guys would get, like, it would warm your heart to
I'm in.
watch them talk about her, because it's so clear that, like,
It's
they
us.
were close, like, and they did text each other, and, you know, they were close. For instance, you know, some of these red flags, one of Molly's friends made a joke with him, and afterwards he kind of went in on Molly, like when they were alone. So when they left, she made some kind of joke. She didn't specify what the joke was about, but later Josh went in on Molly, saying that her friend was trying to get between them. She's trying to get between us. Right?
That doesn't
not good.
track on my friend group.
So
Yeah.
Molly also started telling her friends that Josh was starting to do things that made her feel suffocated, like showing up at her house unannounced or inserting himself into either solitary activities or activities that she would normally do with her friends, like studying. Like, there was no reason. Why would you just why would you just want to hang out with someone while they're studying?
I'm busy. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
this
don't.
isn't fun for you,
I can
right?
guarantee you don't want to come hang out with me when I'm studying. Just
No one would. Yeah.
So I was reading
Boring.
Verity the other day, and I was like entrenched in it. I was like almost through with it, and then like all of a sudden I hear laughter. And Eric was sitting on the couch. He was like watching TV. He's like, "You don't realize I've been trying to talk to you for like 25 minutes."
Yeah, no,
and I'm like,
I sure don't.
I literally didn't hear.
not
I didn't
see me
hear
reading?
at all. You know, he's like, it's so weird. He's like, I was like, it feels like my ears turned off.
Yeah. No.
Chris can have the TV on. He can have anything going on, and he can read with no problem. He does the same thing.
Yeah, my ear, it's like weird. I get into the words and like he was like, I was talking to you. He was right next to me on the couch too. He's like, I've been trying to talk to you for 20 minutes.
I can hear
Touch
when
me.
someone is
Get me
trying,
out of that trance.
I can hear when someone's trying to talk to me, and it actually like annoys me. Like I'm like, I'm reading. Like I'm reading. I'm busy. Like you're interrupting
Not
me.
home right now. But if you leave a message,
Exactly.
100%.
I'll get back to you.
Write it on a sticky note. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But I'm busy at the moment.
Write it on a sticky note.
Right. So when Molly voices that she feels like she needs space, she texts Josh and she says, "We can't be together 24/7. I'm starting to feel really pressured." He responds badly. He starts gaslighting her. He's calling her names and then refusing to apologize for any of it, making Molly feel like she's in the wrong. It's classic abusive
Gaslighting.
bullshit. Like,
yep.
yeah, like you did this, you know, because you made me feel this way, whatever.
Okay.
But she feels bad. Like she feels like she's in the wrong. You know, she's, I think, 21 years old right now. And so she stays with him, but only for a few more months. Feeling trapped and suffocated, Molly decides to end things with Josh after a few months. When she does so, he bombards her phone with texts. Every day she wakes up to a barrage of text messages from Josh, begging and pleading with her to give him one more chance. Eventually, he wears her down, and after a few weeks, against the advice of her girlfriends, she takes him back. Like, you know, she's like, okay, we're going to give this another shot. As soon as they're back together, he picks up right where he left off. Of course, he had made all of these promises that he was going to change, he was going to be different, but he's exactly the same. He's even more controlling and domineering. He's showing up at girls' nights out with Molly's friends, uninvited, right?
Not.
And generally just
None
not.
of our guys would ever.
No. And it would be weird if they did. Like,
How hard is that when that's your friend and you want nothing more than to kidnap them or just shake them and be like, this is dangerous.
Honey, you in danger, girl.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. So he generally just did not allow Molly to leave his side for any length of time, really. Like, she couldn't go anywhere without him going with her.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. In May of 2017, Molly decided that maybe the two of them just needed some time away to patch things up, just the two of them. So she plans a vacation. And it should say something about the relationship that Molly's friends were very concerned about her going away with him alone.
Yeah.
Like they were like, he's already trying to isolate you. And now like you're going to take a plane somewhere far away where like none of us could come pick you up if we needed to, you know? Oof. So sure enough, her friends began receiving texts from Molly that everything was going really very badly. She didn't go into specifics, but she said that spending time with Josh was terrible. And at one point she texted a friend, "Help me." Like she was just like, I don't know if she felt like she was necessarily in any physical danger, but it was just so terrible. We've all been there. Like it's just, you're in a bad spot. And I think that "help me" was almost more of like, help me get the strength to end this.
I was just going to say,
so unhappy.
I literally was just seeing Cassie and like, I've got miles. So.
Yeah, here we go. I'll get on a plane. I'll get on a plane.
Already there. Yeah, you know my ass. That's why, like, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready for me to already be at your door.
Yeah.
You say the word.
She's right outside your hotel room.
Out my name. And you know, wherever I am, I will come running.
You will. So when they get back from this vacation, Molly was determined to end things, though she dreaded it. I mean, we all have been there. Like when you know you need to end a relationship, but you're like,
she already knows what his reaction is, which is scary. And like, I'm sure her imagination is, she's not safe to end that relationship. If that's how he's reacted thus far.
Yeah.
You have to be so planned. You almost have to just be already out the door.
Well, here's what she did, which is also, look, I don't advocate for public fights between couples usually, but
sometimes you got to do it.
But on June 17th, 2017, Molly was out with friends celebrating her 23rd birthday. And Josh showed up and the two of them had an argument, at which point Molly finally snaps and she blurts out that she doesn't want to be with him anymore.
Good.
So she breaks up with him there in the bar, and her friends describe that he reacted quite violently to the news and began shouting before leaving the bar.
And then that's when we step in.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. So her
Yeah.
doing it in a public place was actually like with her friends.
That's right.
And then you leave that stuff. I know it's hard.
That's
You're
right.
23 and you don't have money,
Gotta
but
walk away.
fuck stuff. Honestly, fuck stuff.
That's
you
right.
don't ever have to see like
Fuck it.
block, fuck all the stuff. You
We'll
know,
get you stuff.
or everybody, that whole posse comes to get your
That's
stuff.
exactly
Don't go get
fucking
your
right.
fucking stuff by yourself.
That's
Yeah.
exactly fucking right.
So after this, he begins harassing her on social media to such a degree that she blocks him on all communication platforms, which is the right thing to do. But it enraged Josh. So what Molly and her friends and family don't know is that Josh has a history of violent behavior towards ex-girlfriends. When one past girlfriend broke up with him, he spit in her face.
No, absolutely not. You know,
That to me is such a vile...
You might as well slap me.
That's very violent.
Yes.
You might as well slap me. I would rather you
It's-
slap me.
It's as bad as a slap. Like, it is violent. Yeah. Mhm. Another girlfriend, he slashed her tires. Yet another said that he would follow her and take pictures of her, sending her one of herself in her backyard, which is scary.
Whoa.
This same girlfriend said that when they were together during a bout of rage, he threatened to drown her.
Oh my God.
Now, Josh turned this attention to Molly. He started making derogatory posts about Molly on Facebook, revealing intimate details about their relationship and also spreading lies about Molly using cocaine and other drugs, which was a big deal because she'd built this kind of like, this, she's all about health and fitness. Like that's
Right.
her brand,
Yeah.
basically. And
Yeah.
he's saying that she's doing all of these drugs, and he's tagging her family members in these posts and in these photos because he knows that she'll see them because she's blocked, but they'll tell her. So,
and you be a good family member and you block him too.
when her family and friends start to block Josh on social media platforms, he starts creating WhatsApp accounts and continues the abuse there, at one point promising in a post that there's more to come. Like, he's like, I'm not letting up. Like, this isn't over.
Jesus Christ.
At this point,
The fuck?
Molly is terrified. She starts texting those around her that she's afraid he's going to hurt her. He knows where she lives, and he knows of an upcoming vacation her parents have planned that would put them out of the area for 2 weeks. So she's scared. On June 22nd...
Then you live with me for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On June 22nd, only 5 days after Molly ended things with Josh, she and her mother decide to print out all of Josh's threatening messages and file a police report
Yep.
and try to get those posts removed. So the police officer at the station decides to call Josh. She's like, here's what I'm going to do. So he calls Josh, puts him on speakerphone, and tells him to take all of the content down. So they can hear the conversation because he's on speakerphone. The officer warns Josh to stay away from Molly and says to him, "We aren't going to have to talk about this again, are we?" And Josh replies, "Aren't we?" To the cops,
Wow.
which is just like chilling.
That is chilling, but in a way, like, how many of these stories have we done where it's like, when you get into this, like being harassed online or being stalked in this way, how many stories are there where the cops just are like all shoulders,
Yeah.
like they haven't really done anything
This is
yet.
probably the most somebody's ever done at this point.
Yeah, they will
Truly.
print it out like they fucking 3-ring binder full of threats that
Yep.
this person has made. And he even, aren't we?
Aren't we? Yeah, we're going to have to deal with this again. Like, he just basically tells the cops, I'm not going to stop.
How do you even take care of a situation like this? Like, what can you do? Like, what is I mean, because
I don't know.
We'll talk about it at the end. I have some ideas, but I think it is important that we talk about, because I feel like
Yeah,
this
what do you do?
situation, it does come up a lot, and especially in online dating and in our online world, we should at least, I guess, try to be like, maybe try this or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
want to.
So this obviously terrified Molly and her mother, who decided to print out pictures of Josh to distribute around the neighborhood asking that they, like, her neighbors, please be on the lookout for this man. Like, if you see this guy in this neighborhood, like, call the cops, you know, let us know, whatever.
And everybody's like, that's not my business.
Not me. I'll be the neighbor
Yeah,
who's like,
I'm like never leaving my window.
I got
from that point
binoculars.
on. Yep.
I went and bought some binoculars at Lowe's, and I'm posted up. on my window.
Yep.
Every person that walks by, I work right by my window anyway. I don't think every person that walks by I know. Like, I've got my eyes on you.
On June 27th, the police call Molly and tell her that Josh has told them that he's agreed to take down his abusive posts. So Molly is breathing a sigh of relief. She's thinking, like, okay, maybe we're on the, like, things are going to wind up, you know?
Never let your guard up.
But what she doesn't know is that Josh had somehow manipulated another girl into friending Molly online, and this girl has been feeding information about Molly's whereabouts to Josh based on Molly's posts.
Oh, no, girl. Yes. Why would you do
I don't know,
that?
but this guy's a manipulator. Like, I really feel like, you know... So he's been tracking her movements.
I think when you're going through stuff like that, make sure your page is private, and don't make friends with anybody that you don't personally know for a long time.
There's absolutely some things in this story that I think that it's why it's a I
know. I don't want to blame her.
Yeah,
That's
this
not a blame.
is not
No,
victim
not
blaming. We're trying to. This is the reason why true crime exists, is because you hear a story and then you try to think, like, what could I do to prevent something like that happening 100%. To me?
And I feel like
and
oftentimes
victim blaming at all.
No, I'm not blaming her at all. Like, because I feel like even though she knows it's bad, right? It's humiliating. He's responding badly. They've been to the police. They've done these things. But I also think there's still a part of you that thinks, like, he's just acting out.
Sure.
He just needs to get
over it eventually.
He'll get over it.
Someone else.
Right. And she doesn't know that he has a violent history. This is her first serious relationship.
She's a baby angel.
I don't think she really thought that
it
was going to escalate, you know, even to this degree. So the next day, as Molly's getting ready for a night out with girlfriends, she posts a selfie saying, and it's tagged where she's going to be at dinner that night. So Josh sees this, and while the girls are having dinner, he shows up at the restaurant with another woman. And at the time, Molly and her friends think that, you know, he's blocked on all of our pages. This is probably just a coincidence. And they're consoling Molly because they're like, oh gosh, that sucks that you have to witness your ex-boyfriend who you just broke up with, like, on a date with someone else. And she said that she didn't feel jealous at all,
thank God.
Which is how she knew that she didn't love him anymore. And she was like, I'm fully ready to move on.
Hopefully he is too. Yeah.
Though he does do little acts of intimidation throughout the night, mainly things like just staring or smiling at Molly or walking by their table when he doesn't have to. The girls don't feel especially threatened. They're in a public place, and Molly gets home safe, and everyone just kind of moves on. They're like, weird that we were at the same restaurant, but it's fine, you know?
Now, if I was one of those friends, I would be, temper, because of what you've put my friend through.
Yeah.
I feel confident that I would say something fucking shitty.
Yeah. Here's the other thing though, too. This is when sometimes I have to say this, because I feel like this is a situation in which your friends are like, you know what, you probably shouldn't go home tonight. I know this is weird, but I really don't feel like you should be alone. This is when you talk your friends out of their gut behavior feelings too.
Well, I think she lived with her parents. So she was going home. No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. So her parents were at home, I think. So they made sure she got to her car, and then they were like, you know, she got home safe. She texted them to let them know she was home safe. And so I think that they were like, okay, but he didn't do anything at the restaurant.
Yeah. Nothing to be concerned about at this point.
So the next morning, Molly follows her usual routine, which there's also a thing to put a pin in that, you know, switch up your routine whenever.
It's awful that we have to have these conversations.
Yeah.
That we literally are just like, which is.
Yeah, you should be able to just live your life, right? You know, she didn't do anything wrong.
Not a thing.
So she gets up, she puts on her workout clothes, she drives to the gym where she plans to shoot a workout routine for her blog. At just before 10 a.m., the gym is relatively quiet, and so she moves into a room where she can work out on her own. She does go into a pretty much empty room. I think that it was probably because she wanted to shoot some stuff in there.
Yeah.
So not long into her workout, Josh enters the empty room.
Oh my God.
And he sets up a mat right next to her.
No.
Like right next to her mat. And this obviously freaks her out. She gets up, she moves away from him, and she texts her friend Amy saying that Josh has just come in and set up next to her. And now alarm bells are going off for her friend because she's like, he turned up last night at the restaurant and now he's at the gym at the same time as you. Like something isn't right.
Yeah.
Right. So you can watch the CCTV footage of this interaction because there's a camera in the room. The gym has a camera, and there's also a camera of the stairwell coming up into the room. So you can watch him come up the stairs. He turns to go into the room. Then you see him kind of change his mind. He turns around, goes halfway back down the stairs, and then turns back around and goes into the room.
Oh, no, that's terrifying.
It's very scary. So you can also see on the video the moment Molly approaches. So she's texting her friend. She's texting her mom. She's like, this is super weird. What do I do? So she eventually approaches him and asks him what he's doing there. Like, why isn't he at work? To which he replied, it's none of her business. She's like, it's none of your business what I do anymore. Or he is, whatever. So Molly is texting both her mom and her friend, and they both advised that she leave the situation.
Yeah, I was just like, run,
Right.
screaming.
But before she can, Josh gets up and leaves abruptly. And Molly stays for a little while longer, presumably wanting to make sure that Josh is gone before she leaves the gym. So when she does, she texts Amy again to say that she's leaving. And then she texts saying, I'm always looking over my fucking shoulder, which I think is the thing that is so scary. Like, you just can't live your life.
Right.
And Amy replies and tells her to get home safe and that, don't worry about it. Like, just get home safe. Josh is a psycho, right? That's what she says. When Molly doesn't reply, Amy assumes that she's driving home. But in reality, Josh had been circling the parking lot waiting for Molly to leave. And when she did, he quickly parked his car, crossed the parking lot, and jumped into Molly's passenger seat before she could pull away. At just after 9 a.m. on June 29th, 2017, Josh viciously attacks Molly with a paring knife, stabbing her 75 times.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
So she tried to fight him off. She's screaming. She's honking her horn. But in the end, she died within minutes.
Oh
Jesus
my
Christ.
God.
So hearing Molly's friends talk about the effect hearing about her murder had on them is devastating. Like, it made me feel like what I would feel if I
lost one of our group.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm like tearing up
sad
right now.
Yeah. Especially the friend who like literally was just talking to her, and she's blaming herself
God.
because she's like, I told her to leave. Maybe if I had told her like stick around, he would have gotten bored circling the parking lot and he would have left. And so
There's so many what ifs that you can look back and be like, oh, what if we did that in this situation? But like, honestly,
I do have to say, okay, so what I was saying earlier about like trusting your friend's guts too, like there's times when we are like, no, it's fine. You don't have to do that. You don't have to XYZ. You don't have to come do that. You don't have to. Don't talk your friends out of something that they feel strongly about doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's just as scary for them as well. Like, if you guys were like, I'm in a situation, I'm already on my fucking way. We already said this earlier.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like, don't talk me out of that. Like, if I have that gut feeling, trust my gut as well as yours.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like you're safe, and I just want to make sure that you're safe.
right.
Yeah.
And I would feel better following you home in a car, pulling up, picking you up myself, or whatever it is, or doing that thing, or you staying with me, whatever it is. Like,
Yeah, because that effect on you when something actually happens, and like,
I should have done
I
more.
should have.
I should
It's
have
like,
forced
not
her.
only did you lose your friend, but then you also feel that kind of way, like that you might have been able to prevent it.
And I'm sure her mom feels the same
Oh
way. Like,
my
I
God.
should have just driven down and picked you
her
up from the
God,
gym. Like,
heartbreaking.
all of these things. But it's just, I think we also never want to believe that the worst could happen. Like,
That's
I think
right.
we're like,
It's true.
we just think that like, oh, maybe I'm being dramatic about this, and it's nothing, and it's coincidence and whatever, So Josh is arrested at the scene because, like I said, I mean, she didn't have time to go anywhere. They were still in the parking lot of this gym. So during his trial in January of 2018, Josh, now 26, makes a plea for manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility, denying the charge of murder.
This fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, he's terrible. During the trial, the extent of his previous violent and obsessive behavior with ex-girlfriends, 2 of whom testified, is revealed to the public and to Molly's family and friends, who are shocked and dismayed to learn that Josh had been known to police for threatening behavior. Molly's father, Doug McLaren, was outraged to discover this and angry that the Kent Police Department had not taken the previous allegations more seriously. The police had never charged Josh with any of the past incidents, and since they were taken down as just allegations, Molly and her mom were unable to access this information in the police database when they went to the police about the social media posts. Because if it had if he'd been charged with something, then they would be like, okay, we have a record of this.
Yeah, repeat offender. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After this, the Kent police reported itself to the Independent Police Complaints Commission.
Oh,
they're like,
Jesus
we know
Christ.
we fucked up.
Yeah.
We know we fucked up. Yeah. The jury took just 4 hours to convict Joshua Stimpson of murder, rejecting his plea of diminished responsibility. He was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 26 years. The judge in the case said that Stimpson was a highly dangerous young man who would pose a considerable risk to women in the future, and also called him wicked and cowardly.
Jesus.
He had a female judge too, which
yes, good.
I'm sure.
Love to see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, prepare yourselves. A little over a year after her murder, the university Molly attended awarded her undergraduate degree in sports and exercise for health posthumously during her year's graduation ceremony. Her parents accepted on her behalf, and when they do so, the entire crowd stands and cheers. And when I tell you, like, they're talking about it, her friends are talking about it, and they're like, we were cheering for Molly. Like she did this and
she
graduated.
had an online life, so it's like, it's got to be hard to know that you can still access her online.
Yeah, you can still see videos of her workout videos. Yeah. And like her parents, like accepting that, it's just, ugh. After her death, Molly's friends and family set up a charity for people struggling with eating disorders called the Molly McLaren Foundation. And every year, Molly's hometown come together to celebrate her birthday by hosting a charity festival they call Molly Fest.
Oh, babe.
Molly's friend Amy says, if there's one thing I've learned about her relationship and their situation, it's that there are red flags as you go along, but unless you really sit and evaluate them as a whole, they don't look like red flags.
That's right.
And I think that that's what it is, right? Where it's just like, yes, we can look at this like in hindsight and be like, run. Like these are all like red flags. But when you're in the situation and you're seeing good stuff too, because any relationship has good and bad, and any person has good and bad. And like, there are probably moments when their relationship was sweet and you shared a lot of things with this person. You both struggled with mental illness.
That's right. We only are getting the one side of the entirety of their story together.
Right. So like unless you sit and compile all those things, like you don't necessarily see it all, you know?
Of course.
Also, I think that this is just an example and, you know, full circle. Didn't plan this at all, but like, be safe on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a... And we shouldn't have to live our lives like this.
I know.
That's what makes it so, like, we should be able to be like, fuck you. You're not going to stop me from living my life. I can do what I want. But... be careful. I am so guilty of tagging where I'm at. You know, like I do it all the time. Or I even said we went out to see a friend's band and I was just like, hey, I'm going to be here. Come hang out with us. Come like, you know, and you don't know who's watching you.
Yeah,
like
that's
you
right.
don't know who's watching. So just be really careful. I need to take that advice myself.
Yeah, especially now that you've told everybody that you do that. So.
Well, I mean, yeah. I just wanted to close with this, that in the UK, at least 2 women a week are murdered at the hands of partners or ex-partners, and stalking-related behavior is identified in 96% of these cases. So, that is the story of Molly McLaren.
Oh, that was a good one and an important one. I'm glad that you did it. We've done a lot of really heinous crimes on Tainted Love, and you pointed out I'll do some like wacky ones or what have you, but this one hits.
Yeah,
it feels real.
Because it's real.
Yeah.
Real.
It could happen to anyone.
Right.
I mean, any of this could happen to anyone, but this one specifically, like, I think we've all had relationships I know we've all had relationships that were unhealthy, and you don't always see like where's the line between this is just a bad relationship and this is a dangerous situation.
Right.
I think it hits us so specifically because our advice all the time is have a bunch of good girlfriends that you can rely on, that you can talk to, that you can.
And she did.
And she did.
Yeah. And it still happened.
Yeah. That's why that hits for me anyway.
You're exactly right.
Because
You're
I'm
exactly
like,
right. Because that is our advice all the time. And oh my God.
But trust your fucking friends. Trust your friends.
And as a friend, also trust your own gut.
That's exactly right.
Because you're exactly right, Cassie, where if you feel something is off, my tendency is to be like, well, she's a grown woman. Like, she's telling me she's okay. I'm going to trust that she's okay. But there are times when it's acceptable to be like, you know what? No. Like, I'm sorry. I'm taking the reins. Like, because as your friend, I know you're telling me that I'm overreacting, but I'm going to come pick you up.
Rather be wrong.
I'd rather 100%. Yeah. You know, so.
Oh, good one. Well, palate cleanser. What are we watching this week? Because we need it. I'm sad. I'm emotional.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Listen, I'm going to do mine first because it's not a palate cleanser. Mine is what I talked about earlier today, which is Worst Roommates.
Yes.
On fucking Netflix. Dude, that show. Well, of course, they have the Dorothea Puente story in the beginning, and then they go into it's
Wait till you get to
wild.
the last episode.
Okay.
It is the worst. It is terrifying.
Just started the fourth.
Absolutely. It's terrifying. That helplessness that you feel, because yes, of course, we should be all about tenants' rights, but at times there are criminals that
and you
use
can't
and
get them
abuse.
out. Yeah, can't get them out.
Yeah.
You live with them.
Oh, it's really scary.
Scary.
I watched Bad Vegan, which I cannot say enough about. That was a wild ride. I had never heard anything about it before.
I feel like I don't know any. I don't feel like I know anything about it from the.
I'm not going to give you anything.
God,
it's best if you go into it blind because it is a wild story, and at the end you're just like, what the fuck? It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So definitely it's on that vibe of like Tinder Swindler. It's another con story, but definitely worth watching.
Gotta get them stories out there.
I have not really watched anything new this week, but I have been reading Black Swans by Eve Babbitt. And
nice.
I don't know. I love the way she writes. I don't know if you don't live in LA or have lived in LA, if you would love it as much, because it's very LA centric.
Sure.
Like it talks
like LA's a character.
Yes, yeah. It talks very specifically about a lot of things in LA, but it's a collection of stories that she's written. So
I love that.
It's easy to get through. Yeah, it's easy to get through because you can just kind of be like, I'm just going to read one today, you know, and like that's fine. But I really love her writing style, and it has made me want to check out some of her other books. So if you have recommendations, please let me know.
You know what book I've never read that I just got, and I haven't started it yet, but I'm like, I cannot believe I've never read it. The Stranger Beside Me.
Oh yeah. I know. That feels like one that I should have read by now.
I've never read it.
I started reading it, and I just was like, not at the place right now.
Oh, gotcha.
I feel like the audiobook for that one is really good because Anne Rule reads it.
Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah. And it just was like, I'm certain it was just timing.
Not the time.
It's timing.
Yeah,
it was timing. But I am listening to Verity, and I am excited.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have our girl group.
Like everybody is reading it.
Book club meeting about that book.
Oh no.
Yeah, I read it. I remember closing it and being like, what the fuck just happened? That's how I felt. I talked about it on this podcast. I talked about it after I read it because I was like, what happened?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys took away from the ending and what you think is the actual truth of the situation.
Okay.
So, well, if you guys have books that we should read or things to watch, if you have terrible dates, not that we're wishing them upon you, but if you do, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstatepodcast.com, and we love you so much.
Cheers.